Hi guys, this is Rahul here and I'm from myview.rahulnavy.net, which is my blog. And here in this particular section, we are going to proceed further where we have left off in the previous section. So in the previous section, as we can see that we have created a couple of pages. There are two pages, movies, which is bundling all the related data, taking from that particular data set, nothing from that JSON data, as you can see here, and binding the same in this particular page. We have also created one new movie view. Currently it is not doing anything, it is just in a skeleton. We will cover this in the coming section, but for now let us do some other stuffs like we have pretty much covered that basics of Angular and how does it fit with your normal .NET project, right? So now let me go ahead and do something like what I'm going to do here is, rather than relying on this particular project, one app project, which is that web project, we are going to create one new project which is going to serve as a data container. I mean, that will provide me as and when data is required. So let's go ahead and create one new web API project, and I'm going to create an API project. Basically, that API is nothing but a data carrier for me. So let's go ahead and let's give it some proper name. So how about this movie review API, and I would select here web API and click OK. So what this will do, it will generate all the required steps for me right from the scratch. So I do not need to do much of the steps over here, writing everything from the scratch. So from that, for the time being, let us set this guy as a startup project, and let's see what is happening here. Let's run this once. So as you can see here, this particular project is allocated a different port, and this is running on a different port. So we will also cover this, how to communicate between two different domains, right? So this is the default page for that API project. So this is the home page, and when you click on this API link, it will show you a little bit syntax, how to use this particular piece. Like there are a few samples around JSON and a few samples around like XML architecture. And if you go ahead and do this, one second, I think I can get API. Sorry, I'm doing something wrong. Okay, let's go back to the home page and let's see what is that controller is doing here. Now let's stop this, and let's see the architecture of this particular project. This is home controller and this is values controller. So home controller is doing, okay, this was producing me that home page which where we are, and values controller. So in order to get these values, I need to put that values. So let's go ahead and say that API slash values. So here it is. It has produced me two values, value 1 and value 2, and which is coming from here. So this is the get operation, and which is showing me in the XML format. And this is why, because if you see here, app start and web API config, um, currently no formatter is configured here. So that is why it is taking by default as an XML architecture. Let's suppose I like to see that in JSON way, then what needs to be done? So that is very simple. I need to configure that as in JSON configuration here. So I already have that, and let's pick that formatter here, and let's build once. And with this guy in place, So this is nothing related with our current project. This has come into that value 1 and value 2. And one more thing is here, like I am using few settings here. Now let me show that. So here I am using one JSON view extension. So this is presenting me data in a quite readable manner, what you are seeing here. So this is, I mean, these are the all dev tools which is available on Chrome and Firefox as well. So you can go ahead and download those things. So this is very good for debugging your code right from the beginning and writing then inspecting the code. That's okay. Let's close this and let's go back here and let's do something. First of all, I like to fetch data from the file system. Here my repository is not going to rely on any SQL things like entity framework or SQL server or any other ORM thing. So I would encourage you guys to use this particular model and write your own SQL things. So at the end of this particular module I will be sharing this particular code base on the Git, and from there you can download and do relevant things whatever you want. So let's go ahead and add something. Let's say text file here. I would say movies.json. So this will serve as my data component. So here what I'm going to do here is I have already written this, so just need to pick this. So now so now this guy is my data component. This is nothing but the same component which I was using here, right? As you can see here. So this is the same thing which I have copied here and created as a JSON in that data project. So now let's go ahead and add one controller respective to that. So here, rather than doing controller piece first, I would prefer to have one model. So let's create a class around it and let's say movies, and here same thing I need to do, prop int id. So let me just copy this, guys. Okay, and here also I have, I think, this guy. So just replace the code. So now here my model is created. Alright then, what else we need? So here we need one controller respective to that. Alright, so let's go ahead and create one controller, and I would say read write actions web API 2 controllers. I would give it this guy name movies controller. Let this got created. So this is the default template which it has given to me. That's okay. Now in the model sections also I need one repo to get this guy filled in from this particular JSON file. So I need an intermediary here. So for that I would go ahead and add one class. Add new class. Let's give it name movies repo. Now I have already created this repository here, and I will just take this base and so now everything is looking cool here, right? Now the thing is, let me give you a brief description of about this, what this guy is doing here. So repository is nothing but an intermediary between your data source and controller. So what it will do here is this will serve as a read write operation. Like if you want to fetch something from the data source, you can come here and request that, and the repository will fetch this particular from here I am just reading this movies.json which I have created here, right? Rather than that, you can have your own SQL server settings, and from there you can read that and pass it on, right? So similarly, I have logic for saving movie based on that movie incoming, and I also have concurrent logic around that. Like everything is there, like saving, returning values to that, and updating that. So all get put post operations which we'll be doing later on in this particular section with that API is covered here, is pretty much covered here. So this is a basics of any repository. So I would expect that these things you are already knowing this. Anyways, if you are not having the idea of around this how it is working, anyways, I'll be sharing this particular code base on GitHub, so don't worry about that. Now my JSON is in place, my model is in place. So let's go ahead and create one controller. I already created one controller here, and currently it is returning me a string. So let's suppose, let me build this, and I go ahead and sorry, I forgot the port. So let's run this guy once. I would prefer to stop the debugger. So here it came that home page, and here when I go ahead and let's say API movies, so this will produce me that currently value 1 and value 2, and this is hitting my movies controller, movies API controller, which you can see here, movies API controller. So this is the thing which I do not want here, right? So what can be done here is like I would say movies, and rather than returning this guy, new movie repo, and return corresponding movie repo dot fetch movies. That's it. Just remove this line. So this is how it is. Now if you build this and go ahead and refresh this guy, then I would expect my JSON to get read, and oh sorry, so something happened here. What is happening here? Okay, so it is saying additional text in encountered after finish reading JSON content. So this is nothing but the semicolon. Let's go ahead and see that what's happening here. So this is my movies.json. Okay, this is the problem. So since this is not a JavaScript logic, this is a plain old JSON file, right? So this is something you would expect everything is in this format, name value pair, nothing else is required. So with this I would just save this, and then with luck, when I go ahead and refresh this, I would expect my, so all data are coming, right? So this is how it works. I mean, now this data I'm going to use as a in my web project, rather than using that rather than using this guy from that movies controller where what I've written here, right? So rather than hard coded data here, I would prefer to get this data loaded from that API project. So in the next section we will see that, like how to wire up all these things. Till then, stay tuned. Happy coding. Goodbye.